Come to Remora TC to trade like a shark and not get eaten by one. Let's school together to protect and grow our money. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. It is Wednesday, June 11th. It's been a couple of days since my last video, and my predictions for the past few weeks for the 10 tickers we've been following is pretty much the same. It's the going up into all-time high zone, but with a lot of bearish divergence, and sharks signaling that they are going to take profit and waiting for the next move before they get back in. So let's take a look at the tickers, and we can review each one individually. We've got the SPY first. My prediction on Sunday was price action heading into all-time highs with all this bearish divergence down here. You can see that, and you can see the price action moving upward as per my prediction. Now, let's remove this. You can see that there isn't much more room, about 2% move left into this resistance zone up here in red that I drew. And my prediction for lower prices remains unchanged. That is still the overall direction. Right now is not the time to go long for the SPY. Okay, so this gap is still in play. So just watch for this move. The sharks will resume their selling up here. Switching to triple Qs on Sunday. Let's see, Sunday was this candle, so that's the Friday. So the Friday was this doji candle. A doji candle in technical analysis speak is an indecision candle. It's where the buyers and sellers neutralize one another, and price looks like a plus sign. Okay, there it is. But despite the doji candle, you can see all this bearish divergence here that grew. The first indication of the bearish divergence was on this candle here, or was it this one? It was this one. So on the June 3rd. Okay, so it was back like this. But since then, with prices continuing to move up, the bearish divergence is just increasing. There's more wind up. So this overhead resistance right here still remains in play, very valid. The sharks are using that as a zone in which they're going to take profit. Okay, so my prediction remains lower prices for triple Qs. I'm just going to slide this over. It'll likely come down, enter this gap down here. There is a gap over here as well. I mean, triple Qs has been gapping a lot. Okay, but the main point, and actually I'll just annotate it just to be fairly consistent, like that. So this is the first gap. Okay, so prices will come through. It'll fill this gap. It'll bounce around there. But ultimately, the direction remains unchanged. It's downward, not to take it long. If anything, there will be a bounce on the 200-day, a rebound, as people would call it, where the retail investors will just jump back in. Okay, but the sharks, as a collective group, have told one another, hey, let's take profit and enjoy our summer. Okay, that's triple Qs. FTSE. FTSE is heading upward towards this resistance, overhead resistance. That's why I annotated over the weekend on Sunday. So the price action is the same. Not much upside left. Plenty of bearish divergence. You see here. Okay. The momentum is waning, whereas price is still increasing. My prediction remains unchanged. This is a really strong resistance zone, and prices, the index will continue to move lower, perhaps with a rebound here, small rebound on the 200-day before heading back towards this purple trend line down here. So all the indices are moving the same. GDX, I talked about the double top, the first top here, second top here, that created all of this bearish divergence down here. You can see it, wide range of bearish divergence. I put the shark signal here, letting everybody know the sharks are out. Okay, they told one another to take profit, and there is some selling, not not a huge amount. Okay, we don't see the volume spiking down here, but it's coming. If anything, price will come down, hit this trend line, maybe take a little bounce before lower prices. But see how I'm just pulling my arrow down further? It's still just lower prices. That's still my prediction. I would like to see if price comes back down to this purple trend line down here. Okay, purple trend line down here. If it hits this trend line down here, it will be lower than this point here. And then what I want to see is I want to see bullish divergence. I want to see the beginning. I want to predict where the bullish divergence will likely appear. And that will be the opportunity for us to consider following the sharks, taking a long. So let's watch out for that. Okay, I like trading GDX. It's the movement suits the way I think, so I like it. Let's look at MicroStrategy. The prediction was on Sunday was overhead resistance here and likely prices lower down here. Sure enough, it's doing that, so you can see. And a reminder for everybody, it was due to this tiny bearish divergence signal made by the sharks. This was this green candle here versus this green candle here. And RSI was completely opposite. It was divergent. And that was the signal. And sure enough, they started drawing one another to take profit, enjoy their profits. This right here, this move right here is just retail investors buying the dip right into resistance. They may pop it up a little bit to fill the gap here, up to maybe right there. Okay, there is a little bit of a gap, not huge to fill, but they don't have to. My annotation for the gap is just for educational purposes only. It's not for us to suddenly go long, because that's not what the analysis tells us. Okay, the sharks have told one another to get out. That's their signal, and we on this channel want to behave like the shark so we don't get eaten. Right, my whole tagline. Think like a shark so you don't get eaten by one. Okay, so if you're in the MicroStrategy stocks for long, consider taking your profits here, because this is right into resistance. And if you're playing Bitcoin, well, MicroStrategy and Bitcoin are correlated, so lower prices for Bitcoin coming. Okay, and how big is this move down? About 20%, down to the 200-day-ish, and maybe down to right here. So that's about 20%. Okay, that's MicroStrategy. Let's talk about Nike. I like this trade. This was a trade that I've been talking about because I'm in the trade long. I talked about it back here, the 23rd of April, where I took the long. My exit, which I explained, was at this resistance zone here. And sure enough, yesterday, so today's the red candle, the rejection off the resistance. Yesterday, I took my exit. So I closed my long position, and I got about an 11% gain. And you might say, hey, that's not a very big gain. Why are you so happy with 11%? Well, I'm happy with 11% because one, it's a gain. Two, it's because I predicted it based on the technical analysis, okay, about the zones and the price action and where I would take profit. So I took profit. I didn't get the best exit because today's open of price was right at the resistance. That would have been the most beautiful exit to highlight the effectiveness of technical analysis as a skill. Now, what I did talk about, and you don't see it annotated here, but if you look at my video from Sunday, I talked about how price will likely break through this resistance, not on the first move. That's why I took the profit. I closed my long position. I'm waiting for price to bounce around, only to then break through this resistance and that I would likely take a long when price came back down, right? Price will bust through, and when it comes back down and hits this trend line, then I would use that as support and take a long. So I wouldn't take the long on the first move busting through. I'll wait for price to come back down because I'm cheap like that. I want to get the right entry and get the price down here. Now, the reason why I've removed those annotations is due to the latest indication on the RSI. So you can see I put the shark here. That's a reminder for myself. I just put that on tonight as I was reviewing this. Is because we suddenly have bearish divergence. So the sharks have said, hey, you know what? This move up into resistance, I'll take profit, like John did. Right? So I took profit, got out. But they also said it is actually, we don't think it's time to push it further through here. In fact, they are telling one another it's time to take profit and get out on a bigger scale. So what does this mean? So my annotations from Sunday, which were up here to say, hey, let's go long, let's go all the way up to the 200-day, fill this gap. Well, it's not quite in play anymore for me. Now, what I think is going to happen is I think there's going to be plenty of sideways action, okay? And maybe a peek through here. They might poke it through, maybe a couple of days above this trend line, but it's not going to be a move with a lot of conviction, a lot of volume. I think it's meant to, it will likely be due to retail investors unwittingly pushing price above here, only to be sold into by the sharks. Okay, so my prediction is lower prices for Nike. I'll kind of go like this. Perhaps back down to this support down here at the 56. Okay, so I'm gonna wait for a couple of days, see how the price action will be, and then I will observe the hourly chart to see the change in momentum on the hourly, likely to the bearish side, the downside, and then I'll take a short. So I was so happy with Nike on its as a long trade because it totally worked out, and now I'm considering taking a short. I just want the right entry, okay, due to the signal. All right, remember, don't be married to any stock. Bitcoin, gold, Apple, Tesla, Nike, it doesn't matter. It's a trade. You have to think of it as a trade, not as I love the company. I want to, I believe in their, how they plant trees for every shoe sold or whatever propaganda they sell. That's not what we're into on this channel. Okay. It's all about the price action and the momentum. Let's look at Microsoft. Microsoft here, revisiting, I talked about, okay, so on Sunday, let me just back up a little bit. On Sunday, I said this zone here is resistance, okay, and that there likely isn't much room for further price action above this resistance. Now, today, I moved this resistance up, not because I'm wrong, it's just because the price action is up there. It's at all-time highs, and the momentum indicator down here, if anything, it grew, right? It grew longer. Okay, so here we go. So my prediction remains unchanged. The sharks have already told one another, let's get out. Guys, let's take profit, take our bonuses, and go enjoy the summer vacation, go to the beach, go to the car races, whatever the fund managers do with all their money, all their profits, because the signal here is to get out. You can see it here. It actually came on, let's see, like all of these candles, in fact, because the price action shows it. But the big change is right here. This is the the widest bearishness is right there, okay, on this candle right here on the 9th. Anyway, lower prices, the sharks are going to show that. They're going to prove that. Let's look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA. I talked about this resistance here. I mean, all the tech stocks, all the indications are the same. Resistance. The price action here is really just retail investors. RSI, same thing. RSI shows a lot of bearishness, okay, which is counter to the price action. And I want to show how I drew this. See this line here? I drew this here, and this one here. So this is a rising wedge. Rising wedge, it's a pizza slice, right? We take a pizza, slap it onto the screen upward like this. That is a bearish price action. So you can see price consolidating upward, boom, 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 and then it will sell. It will break down. Okay, so the breakdown is coming, and likely it'll come back and hit the bottom side of this. But this is not the time to go long on NVIDIA. This is the time for NVIDIA investors to enjoy their profits. Take your profit, enjoy it. You know, take your wife out, take your girlfriend out to a nice date. You know, splurge a little, buy dessert, right? You don't just buy, don't just get the appetizer and the main course. Splurge a little, take your profits, and get dessert as well. Okay, 2 scoops of ice cream, not just one. Like, and then caramel on top. Like, go big, because that's what the NVIDIA stock will allow you to do. Take your profits, and then wait till price comes down. Or if you're like me, find the right entry and join the sharks for the short. Let's go to Tesla. Tesla here. On Sunday, I talked about, let's see, this is Friday, this little tiny red candle. On Sunday, I talked about price likely moving upward, hitting this possible gap entry as a resistance. And then the second possible resistance is the gap exit here, the top part of the gap, as a second resistance. Okay. So if you go back to my video on Sunday, you'll see that I drew an arrow going upward. And sure enough, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, price has been moving upward. This has only been the rebound. This is called the buy the dip. This is what everybody's been taught. So all the retail investors are buying the dip right into resistance. And the sharks, you know, they already told one another, bro, let's go on vacation. Let's jump into our private jet, you know, buy the second scoop of ice cream for their girlfriend. And they're going to resume the selling. It's just a matter of time. It's coming. They're going to resume the selling. And my target for the selling down will be down to this gap fill down here and the purple trend line. Okay, we're going to monitor this because I want to see if this is a good entry point down here for long. We'll have to see if the bullish divergence appears. But at the moment, the direction and the momentum change remains to the downside. Don't get eaten by a shark, okay? Think and behave like a shark. Switch to the last ticker on our deck, Palantir. I mean, I want to zoom out a little bit. Look at this. Tons of bearish divergence. Sell signal here by the sharks, right into resistance up here. Today, the past couple of days of price action is right into resistance. I mean, look at this. You can even see today how today's price closed. Closed right at resistance. If anything, maybe tomorrow it'll poke its head above a little bit more, right? But my overall prediction and direction for Palantir remains to the downside, okay? Down to the 200-day here, and even down to this support at around 79 or 80. It's about a 40% move from where we are today, okay? So if you're in Palantir long, take your profits, you know, take the profits, go buy the ice cream cone for your kids, take them to the fair, to the amusement park, splurge a little because you've made a lot of money on the long side. And now, if you're able to go short, maybe go short, make more money like the sharks, or just wait, park your money in cash, and then wait for price to come down to a good zone. And I'll let you know when the sharks and the momentum changes, the shark's saying, hey, let's buy back in. And then you can jump back in, make more money. Okay. All right. So those are the 10 tickers. As always, please like, subscribe, comment. I do read the comments. If there's a ticker that you'd like for me to review, let me know. And I'll remove a ticker from this list because there's some redundancy here, a lot of tech stocks, which they're all behaving the same way. Okay. So the SPY, the triple Qs, PLTR, NVDA, Microsoft, they're all the same from a stock movement standpoint. They're all correlated to the triple Qs and the SPY. And a lot of the funds buy one another's shares, and their shares are all in the same stocks. So it's all incestuous. That's why when the sharks sell or when they buy, it's so momentous. And that's what moves prices, not us small guys. Okay? As always, good luck with your trades, and I'll see you next time.